Yes, folks, hello, welcome to MoDXtra Games and Collectibles, and welcome to GI Joe Classified Series fans, because hopefully the thumbnail has suitably communicated that today's video is going to be all about the San Diego Comic-Con Chuckles exclusive in the GI Joe Classified Series line that Hasbro announced yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday. I'm so on the pulse. Timely with my videos. Yeah, really exciting stuff. Chuckles is a figure I've been waiting for quite a while, so I wanted to take a closer look at the promo pictures and talk about a few things that have bummed me out and a few things that have filled me with joy. So stick around for 6 seconds and let's get into it. Right then, folks, thank you so very much for sticking around. I've got my pictures of Chuckles lined up and ready to go so that we could take a look at it and talk about the things that are bumming me out and the things that are filling me with joy about this figure. Incidentally, credit where credit's due, I sourced the pictures that I'm using today from a website called SDCCblog.com, the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog. Great website. If you're like me and you worship at the broad church of nerddom and are interested in all the kind of exclusives and going on at San Diego Comic-Con, then that is an awesome resource, a very well put together site with all the news and information. I was looking at the Gentle Giant animated statues and thinking about the lovely Silver Surfer exclusive that's going to be available there at the Comic-Con that I'll never own in a month of Sundays. But I'm here to talk about GI Joe Classified Series, so let's talk about Chuckles. And this, the first point, fills me with joy right out the gate, is that Chuckles is coming, and is coming this year. When I published my wish list, my GI Joe Classified Series wish list back in January for figures I'd like to see in the next 12 months, or, you know, in 12 months from January, Chuckles was on the list. Now, I must confess, he was on the list because I'm a fan of him from the IDW continuity. I think his storyline, his narrative in that continuity is really, really awesome. I'm less of a fan of the 1987 Real American Hero look of the figure. Probably see where I'm going there. And I'm certainly not into the way the character was portrayed in the animated series, specifically from G.I. Joe the movie. Not into the kind of meathead version of Chuckles, more into the kind of investigator, intelligence officer kind of thing. And that brings me to the first thing that's bumming me out, because this is clearly inspired, really drawing very heavily on the nostalgia for that original 1987 figure. I grabbed the picture off yojo.com there, and we can see that the whole design is firmly based on that original look of the 1987 figure. The shirt design, the trousers and belt, the cross holster, the boot, everything. Look at it. Just the whole thing is based on that original 1987 design. And I'd have liked perhaps a little bit more reinterpretation, a little bit contemporizing, a little bit of something that might acknowledge the differing characterizations of Chuckles from the various continuities. But I also get that as a deluxe convention exclusive, leaning very heavily into the original vintage look. I get what they're doing there, but it's bumming me out because I am personally more of a fan of the IDW more modern interpretation of Chuckles. Also, the second thing that's bumming me out on the list is that it's a Comic-Con exclusive. With no information as to what that means for, you know, internationally. Last year, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive was Dr. Mindbender. They had that whole Bobbins thing with the QR codes, which they're repeating again this year with Chuckles, which I don't think is a great system. They should just have the figures there. But there was a limited run that was made available on the UK version of the Hasbro Pulse website. And I can tell you right now, I've still not received my pre-order of that figure. So I've reached the next San Diego Comic-Con and the figure's still not arrived. Now, on the website, it says it's going to arrive at the end of this month, but it's been a whole year since I, F5'd like a maniac to get my Dr. Mindbender, and it's still not arrived. So if they do a limited release here in the UK through the Hasbro Pulse website, am I not going to see this figure until 2024, until San Diego Comic-Con next year? So yeah, not into this idea. I've never liked Comic-Con exclusives or convention exclusives. That is just, years, decades even, of accumulated, collector pain from being here in the UK and it being extremely difficult to get our hands on convention exclusive stuff, particularly by experience as a trading card collector. That's been a nightmare. So I've never been a fan of that type of exclusivity when it is exclusionary, Although, the fact that they've announced the Dr. Mindbender mainline version, does that indicate that maybe if I'm patient and I can't get my hands on the Comic-Con exclusive Chuckles, there'll be a mainline version down the line? Who knows? But yeah, not into the fact that it's a Comic-Con exclusive. Let's talk about things that are filling me with joy about the figure, though. Look at the selection of accessories we've got. I mean, we'll come to this in a minute. We'll come to the head sculpt in a minute. But the lei, garland, a manila file, brilliant. Brilliant. I know it sounds ridiculous, but a manila file, the opportunities for posing and photographing your figures with a manila file is amazing. Really into that. The handcuffs, the binoculars, again, another kind of generically useful piece of accessory that can be used across your whole classified collection. Also, the same with the briefcase there, another piece of accessory that, even though it ties into the character, the personality, the narrative of Chuckles, can be used extensively across your whole collection. The glasses, the headphones, these are obviously for him specifically. The classic, is that a 1911? Is that right? Firearms folks, did I manage to successfully drop a bit of knowledge there? That's a great piece of weaponry. Love that it goes into a cross-shoulder holster there as well. The knuckle duster, hand swaps too, just awesome. So the selection of accessories are absolutely just blowing my mind. I love it when they include accessories with figures that can, here's these repeated MoDXtra patented phrases that just help with the narrative storytelling experience of your playtime with these figures. So when you're posing them up, when you're taking photographs, when you're making dioramas and putting them in dioramas, these accessories open up a world of possibility. And not just for Chuckles, for across your whole line of figures. And that really fills me with joy. The only thing is that this head sculpt, I just can't see myself using it. I just can't see myself using it. The head sculpt has gone just a little bit too far over the Rubicon into cartoony. Just looks a bit too cartoony. And that's, yeah, I'm not into that. And then moving over to bumming me out, the standard head sculpt just looks a bit too serious. I'd have liked the smile without the black eye and the scrapes and the missing tooth on the main head as well. That would have been perfect for me. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. He just looks a bit kind of generic, a bit Marvel Legendsy there, just, you know, generic blank face. I'd have liked that goofy smile on the main head without all that cartoony looking stuff as well. And talking about accessories filling you with joy, I know a fair few folks clocked this cheeky little bad boy in the corner of the image there. That the tape deck that goes with the headphones, not only is it a classic 80s cassette Walkman, but it's a nod towards Soundwave from the Transformers line. And I love that. That's such a wonderful little knowing wink towards the fan base there. Again, acknowledging the fact that we're all just massive nerds who worship at this broad church of nerddom. And I'm really into that. I like that. I like that a lot. That really gave me a chuckle when I saw it. So thanks, Hasbro. Great idea. You know that was Lenny. That's got to be Lenny, hasn't it? Lenny's behind that. So this picture here definitely kind of demonstrates how the other head sculpt just takes it a little bit too far into a goofy, cartoony space. I mean, just look at it here on the head. I'm also not a big fan of the way the lei garland is draped across the neck. It looks a little bit, I don't know, like it's sitting a bit too high and heavy on the top there. It's not draping down with a nice natural drape, which indicates it's kind of that rubbery, plasticky stuff. So not so keen on that. Although when I posted on Instagram about this, I mentioned that this figure is like, I've got a kind of love-hate thing going on with respect to this head sculpt in particular. But I called it Schrodinger's Classified because you don't really know if it's good or not, if it's shit or not, until you open the box. Because the more I look at it, I'm like, yeah, actually, that's kind of fun. That is kind of fun. But then I go back and look at the other head sculpt and the more classic-looking Chuckles, and I'm like, oh, no, I like that. You know, ex-FBI, intelligence investigator, dude with a manila file. Yeah, I like that. And then I sort of look at this picture and go, yeah, but that is kind of fun. That is kind of fun. So it's weird. It's Schrodinger's classified figure. You don't know whether it's good or bad. It's like two things that can exist at the same time with the same figure. And none of us will know until we get to opening the box. The packaging is interesting. I don't know. I mean, that doesn't bum me out nor fill me with joy. That just is what it is. I'm not a keeper of boxes. I'm not an inbox collector, so that'll eventually end up in the recycling bin. But as a Comic-Con exclusive deluxe, the fact that they've gone a little bit, further with the packaging just to make it feel a bit more special, like they did with Zartan, like they did with Serpentor, like they've done with Dr. Mindbender. At least I assume they've done with Dr. Mindbender. I'm not entirely sure that figure actually exists. I think it's a conspiracy, a worldwide hoax, just to con me in particular. So yeah, I get it. So we've got this nice little kind of quirky, he's on the communicator there. But the thing that a lot of fans noticed, this was called out by some friends of mine over on the GI Joe Classified Series Discord group that I belong to, is that we've got the Crimson 3-pack, the Baroness and the twins, depicted in the bottom corner there on the video call with Chuckles as he taunts them with the file that he's stolen, that he's managed to acquire off them, with what appears to be the plans to Crimson Bat, maybe? The Crimson Bat plans? Or something else? Get your guesses in the comments down below. Oh no, scratch that. No need to put your guesses in the comments down below. Look, there's a Polaroid of a Crimson Bat head clipped to the front of the manila file. So that's clearly what it is. I didn't notice that to myself until literally just then. I was like, oh yeah, look. Sorry, folks. Sorry, don't put your guesses. The packaging also has a further kind of fold open section. So I think that is the back we're looking at. And then we've got the front that opens up and reveals this digital render of the figure here. And then some kind of comic book artwork as he's stealing the case out of the safe, getting into it, avoiding some bats chasing him down, making his way down the stairs, taking care of a few of them on the way, leaping out the window, getting into his car, and waving goodbye as he makes his escape. And then that little video call is then on this case in the digital render with some gold bars. Are the gold bars? Oh, are the gold bars in the case? Do we know that? Have we seen that in any of the pictures? We don't know. We don't know. Are the gold bars in the case? That's kind of fun. I'm loving that. Again, very characterful, ties into the sort of personality of the character of Chuckles. So enjoying that a great deal. That definitely is the sort of thing you might want to cut off the front. If you're not an inbox collector, cut off the front and keep, because it's just a lovely little, nice bit of flavour. Frame it up and put it on the wall. Why not? But one thing that is bumming me out is that in the picture, you can see he's got his shirt untucked. He's looking a bit more loosey-goosey around the edges, like the IDW continuity Chuckles is. But obviously, the figure himself has got the shirt tucked in, like the original 1987 3 3/4 inch version of Chuckles. Now that's, again, I'm kind of meh about that. I think there's a few folks that I noticed out on the socials and on the Discords and in the forums and stuff going, oh, you should have an untucked shirt, perhaps casting their eye over the Covert Ops Condor from Valaverse, the mail-away figure, and how his shirt's untucked. But I don't think, I was mulling this over before I started recording, I don't think there is just a GI Joe Classified Series figure with a moulded jacket or shirt over the top, is there? And I'd much rather he just have it tucked in than they do one of those silly little sticky out skirt bits that they had on Recondo and Dusty, because I think they look really daft. So I'd rather he had a tucked in shirt and be, vintage nostalgia than them attempt to do that untucked shirt with the silly belt skirt thing. And then finally, just a few notes on the body sculpt itself. There's some nice touches here that I'm really enjoying. The shirt, the Hawaiian shirt, is exceptional. Look at that design. Obviously, again, echoing back to the nostalgia for the vintage version of the figure, but with the added details. It looks like the paint applications there of the leaf pattern and the flower pattern is really, really spot on, really well done. So very, very into that. That's wonderful. The tacky, nasty gold watch on his wrist. Love that. Nice touch. A lot of character, a lot of personality. It really stands apart from, the rest of the crowd in the GI Joe Classified Series line. And then the sculpting detail looks to be excellent on the cross holster. And there we go. There's my closer look at the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive GI Joe Classified Series Chuckles that was announced this week. I do sincerely hope that there's some solution that's put together that will allow access to this figure for folks like me outside of the United States, or even in the United States. I mean, going to San Diego Comic-Con is not a budget experience that we could all just, let's go to San Diego Comic-Con and pick up an exclusive. I'm extremely fearful for the kind of scalping secondary market and what's going to happen with this figure with regards to that. I mean, even figures that have been available for pre-order, like Serpentor and Dr. Mindbender, are going for outrageous amounts. And there's a drop of Mindbenders, as I said earlier in the video, due at the end of July here in the UK. So I sincerely hope that there's some sort of solution that's put together, even if it is just a limited run that's released in phases over the next couple of weeks or months, like they did with Serpentor on the UK-based Hasbro Pulse site, and the same for the other territories that have Hasbro Pulse sites, because I really don't want to end up, well, the bottom line is I'll not buy one. I'm not going to end up paying extortionate scalper prices through sites like eBay. It's as simple as that. But then if we do end up with a mainline version of the character, all's good, all's fine. I'll just have to be patient and wait for that to come, and that will likely have less accessories available. Maybe I could pick one up without the goofy head. So it could be a bonus. It could be a plus. Who knows? But there we are. There's my thoughts on the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Chuckles. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the figure as well. So please drop into the comments down below and let me know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, where you're at with it. Is it one that you want? Is it a pass? All that good stuff. Just give me a shout and let me know. Don't forget to do all the YouTubey stuff. Push all the buttons. All the buttons. Just have a look. Scroll down a little bit. There's loads of buttons to press. There's a thumbs up button. Press that one. There's a subscribe button. Press that one if you're not already done so. There's one with a little bell on it next to the subscribe button. Hit that one too. If you're loaded, then go to the super thanks. Hit that button and fire some cash my way to help me grow the channel and diversify the selection of stuff that I'm reviewing here, or become a member. So go and hit all the buttons. Well, not all the buttons. Don't do that button. Don't do that one. Do that one. Do that one. Not that one. So all the YouTube salesman-y stuff that we all do at the end of our vids. But otherwise, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. I know there's so many other videos you could be watching, and the fact you've chosen mine fills me with joy. That's the last fills me with joy for this video, is having you here with me today. Have a great day, everybody. And I hope to see you again around these parts sometime soon. See you later, folks.